Thank you all so much for being here today. Well, let me begin by lifting up a few facts about our district. We offer 104 different college-level courses, and currently 2,200 students are enrolled in those classes, and they will graduate high school having already obtained college credit. And in this year alone, we have seen a 52% increase in the number of students taking AP exams. Our bus fleet was honored as one of the top 100 in the nation. Our Career and Tech Center is known as one of the top 5 in the nation. And we were recently recognized as the #1 district for the use of using student data to drive instruction. Not too bad. Well, I tell you, we're never satisfied with the status quo. Successful organizations understand the importance of establishing a culture of continuous improvement. And I have on my desk in my office this Kodak dispenser. And then I also have in the John H. Schrader Conference Center a Brownie Hawkeye camera. Now, I say this because at one point in time, actually in the mid-90s, Kodak was one of the 5 highest rated and valued brands in the world. And in 1975, they were one of the first to actually develop the digital camera. And where are they now? So I am blessed each and every day to come to work, and I'd like to acknowledge my senior leadership team. If you would stand now, because they drive my thinking each and every day, and they drive us to be better. And every day we think about, we don't want to become the next Kodak. If you would, please stand. Well, it's because of their work that I was very pleased to be able to represent EVSC as one of 15 superintendents from around the nation who are part of the Education Advisory Board in Washington, D.C. And one day when I was there, I was asked, so what sets EVSC apart? And to me, the answer is very simple. We always strive to improve and to find ways to be better tomorrow than we were today. And it is an ongoing commitment to systemically improve how we can better serve our students, our staff, and our community. I was blessed to have the Board of School Trustees approve our second continuous improvement plan this past fall, and it certainly provides a clear roadmap for our continuous improvement in the EVSC. For over a year, we met with leadership, employees, parents, and every other stakeholder to lay out the vision for our district. And the result is a plan that includes 3 overarching priorities and goals. The first priority is student learning through GAIN, and I'll explain much more about GAIN in just a moment, but this priority will help us develop all students to their maximum potential and to be successful throughout every stage of their life. We will focus on our students and teachers as well as academic content. And we will continue to ensure that our teachers have the skills and the tools necessary to enable all of our students to take ownership of their own learning. And I believe that this will truly redefine education and have a lasting and positive impact in our community. The second priority is human capital. And we know that every employee makes a difference in the lives of our students. And we want to make certain that we ensure all of our employees are engaged in their work, are empowered to do their work, and believe in the vision of EVSC. And finally, our third priority is infrastructure. That may not be too glamorous. It's somewhat anonymous, or I guess analogous to the mayor and sewage and all of that, but incredibly vital. Because we have to have systems and practices and behaviors that foster that collaborative and evidence-based continuous improvement in order for our students, our teachers, and all employees to reach their optimal potential. Now, central to our new continuous improvement plan is GAIN. And this is an initiative that we have researched and developed over a 2-year period of time. But before we can discuss GAIN, I think we need to go back just a little bit in time. Look familiar? This is what a classroom might have looked when you and I were just a bit younger. And this is what we thought learning looked like. We'd walk down the hallway and we'd see quiet and orderly classrooms, and that was defined as learning. Teachers were teaching and students were learning, but the question really was, what were they learning? And more importantly, were they learning the skills necessary to be successful in the 21st century? Now, we've always thought that if you struggled or if you weren't achieving at a level that you wanted, let's say in math, well, then we should just work harder and take more math classes. That has been our recipe for success for decades and decades. If you simply worked harder and did more math problems, you would figure it out and you'd perform better. And if math didn't improve, well, then you just didn't work hard enough or you didn't practice enough. Makes sense, doesn't it? Well, now, before we buy into that notion that we've had for so many decades, let's apply this thinking to running. We used to think that if you wanted to be a better, faster runner, that all you needed to do was to run more. Well, now we know that that won't actually make you faster. Having the right nutrition, the proper amounts and type of sleep, the utilization of interval training, all those things are necessary. Well, I think you get the point. To run faster, it's not enough just to run more. And the same applies to math. Doing more math by itself will not make you a better mathematician. Research, especially in the new field of neuroeducation, has expanded so much over the past decade that our understanding of how students learn has deepened greatly. We have known for years that students do best when they're engaged in their learning and have close relationships with caring adults, like our teachers. But we now have a better understanding of the neurological importance of these factors. And the curriculum must be different by incorporating social and emotional components in addition to relevant content. And only then will we see all the students develop with the 21st century skills so necessary to have positive life outcomes. And frankly, the choice before us was to continue to educate students as we always had, but now with this new knowledge, we knew that we could not do that. We simply had to have the courage to redefine education. So this brings us to GAIN, which is an EVSC initiative to redefine education. What has been done historically to fix education is simply add more content. And when you add more content, and that just didn't give us the results that we desired, well, what did we do? We just went out and sought better and more content. Well, we just simply know that our belief has always been that just by adding more content, you would achieve greater results. GAIN is a comprehensive approach, utilizing information from neuroeducation to maximize student learning and positive life outcomes. This model is neurodevelopmentally sensitive and is representative of the whole child. And it will revolutionize teaching and learning and improve outcomes for all students, including closing the achievement gap that has been so difficult to change, despite the best efforts of so many. In GAIN, relationships are the foundation to learning. Relationships, the very definition of that, means a connection with a caring adult, such as a teacher, a bus driver, a coach, and parents. These positive relationships ensure that the brain's learning centers are turned on. And equally important, the brain's alarm system, basically what we know as stress, remains turned off. In essence, stress turns off the learning system in the brain while positive relationships turn that switch on. And that's one reason why simply adding more content does not improve your math score. But let me give you an example. Let's say a student enters a classroom and is warmly greeted by a teacher with high fives. The student sits down to work on an exercise at a computer, and after just a few moments starts missing several answers, and the student gets frustrated and begins banging on the keyboard. The teacher sees the student's frustrated, walks over to the student, sits down, and simply says, "Hey, let's try the next one together." That simple action lessens the stress and allows the learning centers to remain on. And this is just one of many examples and their significant impact of relationships, not just on learning, but really making the important neural connections that are so necessary in the brain. Now, assuming those positive relationships are present, let's continue with the biological level. This refers to climate and culture of the school building, including routines, opportunities for movement, as well as an individual's well-being. physically well-being, physical well-being. So to better understand this phase, let's look at a typical morning routine for many of our students. They get up, have something to eat, maybe they grab a donut, Pop-Tart, muffin or juice, they get dressed, and then we expect them to sit quietly on the bus as they ride to school, and that's important for safety. Then tradition would tell us that they go to class and they're expected to sit quietly, sometimes perhaps for 45 minutes. Now, think about yourself and how challenging this might be. For example, research tells us that at 9 minutes and 59 seconds, which was approximately 9 minutes ago, you will lose focus with this presentation and begin fidgeting, checking with your phone, talking to the person next to you, or do something if I don't refocus your attention. So let's take a closer look at how this can actually happen in the classroom. Now, in the past, we brought students to you, but this year, I want to take you to them. I want to take you to a classroom that embodies gain and one that keeps the learning centers turned on. So let's visit Tracy Drewski's third grade class at Oak Hill Elementary School. Now, Tracy is actually one of only 35 teachers in the entire nation to be named a Milken Educator, which is one of the most prestigious education awards possible. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi. So I tell you what, Jared is turning around, and so now the students can see you. Everybody wave, please. All right. That's a gorgeous sight. Okay, Tracy, take it away.
Welcome to Oak Hill. This is my third grade classroom, and we are a Leader in Me school. So you will see a lot of leadership and a lot of leaders today. You are getting ready to experience a little bit of whole brain that we use in the classroom, as well as our memory models that we've created together, and we're going to show you a lesson on elapsed time. So boys and girls, can you please tell me, here's with words. What is elapsed time?
What is elapsed time? What is elapsed time? What is elapsed time?
Think. Aunties.
I'm loving it.
So you may not have been able to hear what elapsed time is, so I'm going to ask a student to explain to you what elapsed time means.
Elapsed time is how much time has passed.
And what do we use to help us better understand elapsed time instead of just going through the motions and trying a question and continuing on and getting frustrated?
Well, instead of doing that, we use memory models. So, like, during elapsed time, instead of saying, like, this is what we do, we'll have a memory model for everything.
And how do memory models help us?
Memory models help us by, like, say we're stuck on a question on a test, we usually have a memory model for it. So if we think about it, then it should help us on the test, and it helps us to remember.
Okay. And also, whole brain. Why is whole brain so helpful, Kylie?
Whole brain is so helpful because instead of just being boring and going through it, it makes it more fun.
And what do I expect all of you?
100%.
Okay, you have to be in the game in this classroom, and you have to be engaged. No one is allowed to sit
On the bench.
You got it. So, here we go. Boys and girls, mirrors.
Mirrors.
What is the memory model for elapsed time? If you have a start time and an end time. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Start time, end time, teacher.
What's the next one?
Missing the time, draw the clock.
How do we draw that clock?
12, 6, 3, 9. Fill in the rest.
You've got it. So awesome job. If we take a look at our questions then, we see that we have a start time at 6:15 a.m. and an ending time at 11:30 a.m. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Do it with me.
Start time, end time, teacher.
Go ahead and draw your T-chart. The boys and girls have learned how to do a T-chart While they do this, we put the start time on one end, the end time on the other, and we bank every time we go around the clock. So boys and girls, if we are at 6:15, everybody put your hand out. If we are at 6:15, can we go around the clock 1 whole hour?
Yes.
Let's do it. Ready? What time is it?
7:15.
How much time can we bank?
1 hour.
Awesome. It is 7:15. Can we go around the clock again?
Yes.
Ready? Go. What time is it?
8:15.
Can we go around the clock again?
Yes.
Let's do it. What time is it?
9:15.
Can we go around the clock again?
Yes.
Let's do it. What time is it?
10:15.
Don't forget to get your bank going. And now, can we go around the clock anymore?
Yes.
What time is it?
11:15.
You got it. We're at 11:15. Are we able to go around the clock again?
No.
So we need to look at our minutes. If we look at our minutes, I want you to tell your neighbor, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Mirrors.
Yes.
We're ready for the minutes.
We're ready for the minutes.
What do we do?
What do we do? We're ready for the minutes. What do we do? We're ready for the minutes. What do we do?
And think. And teach.
Okay.
Red rabbit. Hat. As elapsed. Add up your bank. How much time has elapsed? We are going to whisper it in our hands, and we're going to let all of these people hear our correct answer. Are you ready? On the count of 3, get your hands up. 1, 2, 3.
5 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, let it out.
5 hours and 15 minutes.
Awesome job. Hands nice.
And nice.
Thank you for coming to our
Thank you so much, Mr. Drewski and students. That was just like when I was in school. How about you? Tell you what, students have to actively participate in their learning. They have to own their learning. Let's talk just about a few things that happen in the classroom and run a little bit long on time. So basically, we saw a lot of movement. We saw a lot of students working together. Those are just 2 key components of GAIN. And this break that we just took allowed your brain to refocus and allowed you to re-energize. And now your learning centers in your brain are turned back on. This is in part what GAIN looks like. So GAIN is not a program. It's not a bright, shiny box that we purchase to implement in our schools. Children really are not that simple. It is a comprehensive framework that redefines teaching and learning. You hear a lot about executive functioning skills in the news today. Well, executive functioning skills are a key component of learning, but they need to be exercised. So we're currently implementing a computer-based brain exercise program in some of our schools that was designed by Yale University professor Dr. Bruce Wexler. This program strengthens student-focused attention, working memory, self-control, and processing speed. There is also a physical education component of the program that primes these neural pathways. And when GAIN is fully implemented, we will view physical education differently in our schools. It will no longer be the sole domain of our gyms, but will be physical activity that is incorporated in our classrooms to enhance the brain's capacity to learn by promoting neurological health. You'll notice self-regulation and content are the highest levels in this model because a student's ability to learn content and then to apply that content is dependent upon relationships and dependent upon other biological factors, and it's also dependent upon executive functioning. It is not enough to just teach content and then to expect learning to increase. It is also not enough to teach content with an expectation that students can actually apply that content and knowledge in new or more complex situations. Examples being students trying to solve problems or thinking critically when collaborating with others. In order to acquire these skills, students need not only direct instruction, but they also need opportunities to practice and to apply what they've learned. And this requires emotional, cognitive, social, and pro-social self-regulation. And only then will all students have the 21st century skills that they need to be successful. So here's a really easy example. As adults, we know we may need to be at work at 8 a.m., but how do we get ourselves to work on time? Well, this requires self-regulation. For example, it may mean that you go to bed early, you set an alarm, you leave home in time. All of that is planning, problem solving, or cognitive self-regulation. Now for students, and we have a few students gathered with us, self-regulation means to remember to bring home your study materials when you have a test the next day. They can choose studying over video games, and they can choose studying over watching a YouTube video. They can focus on what they're studying, and they know when and have the ability to turn off their technology in order to get a good night's sleep. This example of self-regulation demonstrates why grades are more predictive of graduation and future success than a single high-stakes test score. And that is why GAIN will redefine education. It is a comprehensive approach that is representative of the whole child. It is not enough to just teach content. The goal of GAIN is to maximize student learning and positive life outcomes, and this journey has just begun for us. This is not easy work, but we know that it is the right thing to do, and we look forward to the journey. Well, as you saw, engaging students is an important component of GAIN. Another way we engage students is through our innovative programs. These programs align to students' interests by providing options outside of the traditional school setting. Students who participate in innovative programs may earn college credit, have the opportunity for internships in a variety of different fields. They can earn certifications, and they certainly learn the value of community involvement, and so much more. As you can see, the Shepherd Academy, well, it is the only one of its kind in the entire nation. The Medical Professions Academy, a 400% increase in enrollment for the Medical Professions Academy that is at Central High School. Early college program, which Wendy oversees, we're going to have 28 students earn their associate's degree at Ivy Tech Friday night. And then next week, they're going to graduate from high school. We have an outstanding international baccalaureate program at Bosse High School with 183 students enrolled in that program. We have a virtual academy that has been heralded as one of the very best in the nation. We have a junior ROTC with 124 students enrolled, and they are certainly involved in the community. And then we have our Career and Tech Center, which, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the top 5 career and tech centers in the nation. Nearly 900 students take advantage of that. We serve 5 counties. They have opportunities for internships. They earn 300 certifications. 3,781 dual credits were earned within 10 career clusters. And although AIS First Avenue is not considered an innovative program per se, what is occurring there takes innovation and imagination and determination. Christine Eichholz, principal of AIS First Avenue, never gives up on her students. She does everything possible to ensure that they will earn a diploma. And because of her work and the work of her team, AIS has created 2 career pathways for students, including the CNA program, as well as an early childhood certification through Ivy Tech Community College. And this is the 2nd year for the CNA program, and as you can see, 32 students have successfully completed that program, and 100% of these 32 students have taken the CNA exam and have passed that exam. Now, let's take a visit into one of our innovative programs. I mentioned the Randall T. Shepherd Leadership and Law Academy at Harrison High School, so let's take a visit there. They are co-taught by teachers Nathan Fleener and Frank Hendricks. Now, I understand that we're going to see a Lincoln Douglas style debate, so good afternoon, Nathan, and take it away.
Hello, Dr. Smith. Welcome to our sophomore Shepherd Academy. And today we're going to show you our History Madness tournament, most infamous person in world history. And today's an abridged version. We have Adolf Hitler versus Mao Zedong.
What a choice.
History, because the Holocaust was a genocide mainly targeted was Jews in Europe. Not only Jews were killed. Eventually, death toll from this shameful time period in history rose to 11 million lives. Also, Nazi Germany and their allies created nearly 42,500 concentration camps or ghettos all across Europe.
Mao Zedong was much more infamous than Adolf Hitler. He had his own cult of people called the Red Guard, who worshipped everything that he did. He also had thousands of labor camps that killed over 40 million people called the Great Leap Forward. History.com tells us that Mao killed over 80 million people in his entire rule over China.
Hitler's methods of murder included firing squads, gas chambers, and the starving of millions of innocent people. Mao Zedong successfully rebuilt the Chinese government, unlike Hitler, who overall did nothing good for Germany during his time in power. While Mao Zedong caused the death of 80 million people, he only affected China. You cannot make the argument that he is more infamous when he only influenced a single country. Even though Hitler lost World War II, he affected the entire world by starting the war and killing innocent people from countries across all of Europe, not just Germany.
Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward led to the deaths of 40 million people, over twice as many as Hitler and Stalin combined, which shows how infamous he is. On top of that, because of the Holocaust, many medical discoveries were found to have saved millions of lives since then, such as the development of the heart catheter. So in reality, Hitler can't be that infamous, and his legacy led to good things. Hitler also did lose World War II, making his influence end there, while Mao's influence lasts on to present day. No matter how you spin it, medical discoveries were found under Hitler's reign. So if you credit the millions of Jews not slaughtered by Hitler's hands directly, then yes, we also have to give him credit for the good things that came from the Holocaust too.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions from the audience at this time? Yes.
Mao ruled China for over 30 years after being elected in 1945, according to biography.com.
Okay, any other questions?
When was the first concentration camp established? Dachau was established in 1933, and this led to the creation of over 40,000 other concentration camps and incarceration sites.
Okay, any other questions? All right, at this time, if you think Adolf Hitler won this History Madness game, please stand up. All right, thank you. Have a seat. If you think Mao Zedong won this History Madness game, please stand up. All right, thank you. Have a seat. Adolf Hitler won this History Madness game. Would someone please come up to explain why they voted for Adolf Hitler in this Lincoln debate?
I voted for Hitler because both speakers made a persuasive argument in saying that Hitler was able to influence the entire world through his actions, while Mao Zedong only really influenced China. Not only this, but they both used dynamic voices while speaking and really tried to keep the material interesting for the audience.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming in today. This is a Team Talk class, Mr. Hendricks and I, and we are in here for 3 hours every day in this class, it's a project-based class, doing several things to keep their attention every day for 3 hours. We're glad you guys could look in at us today, and thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Fleener, and the students of the Shepherd Academy. Well, moving on, having innovation rigor in classrooms, well, that's great, but developing successful students just doesn't happen by accident. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we are never satisfied with the status quo. We are always looking for partnerships that allow us to increase our capacity and knowledge. So if you have volunteered in our schools, if you worked in our schools through either business, healthcare, or through a variety of our many partnerships, would you please stand and be acknowledged at this time? Thank you so much. And in addition to our outstanding local partnerships, we also partner with numerous colleges and universities. Our Teach Now, Transform Tomorrow is a partnership with USI in 3 of our schools this year. And this program embeds student teachers into the classroom for an entire year, giving them more experience than a regular semester of student teaching could ever provide. And the results have been incredible. The EVSC IU Educational Leadership Program is a partnership with IU for the past 2 years. It is a rigorous, customized program for EVSC employees who aspire to learn and to earn their principal certification and/or master's degree. And then there's the IU Doctoral Program in Educational Leadership. IU officials were so impressed with the caliber of our employees from the Ed Leadership Program that they created and designed a doctoral program called Pilot, preparing innovative leaders for Evansville's transformation. And the unique aspect of Pilot is that it allows EVSC employees to focus their doctoral research on EVSC's continued work to improve teaching and education within the EVSC. We also have Ivy Tech's Achieve Your Degree, which is a partnership with Ivy Tech that allows EVSC employees interested in advancing their career to enroll in Ivy Tech and to receive certification and credited classes. We also have EVSC employees who will participate in Indiana State University's counselor cohort that begins this summer. And this is the second time that the EVSC has partnered with Indiana State. Previously, 15 EVSC employees were part of the exclusive cohort through ISU where they could earn their PhD. And we also have a partnership with Ball State University where our social emotional learning specialists are currently participating in a cohort that provides a pathway for them to take the board certified behavior analyst exam. Now, it's not every day that a school corporation is approached by Yale University to partner in groundbreaking research, but that is exactly what happened with the EVSC. Now, because of our focus and the importance placed on social emotional learning, Yale reached out to EVSC to request our participation in a research study that will help validate a tool that is being utilized to develop executive functions. And building capacity doesn't just mean partnering with universities. To really affect change in the corporation, the EVSC has developed strong partnerships with nationally renowned organizations such as Mass Insight Education and Learning Sciences International. We have an incredible partnership with Mass Insight. We've used Mass Insight to build our capacity with very intentional efforts on sustainability. And our partnership was originally focused to design and implement the transformation zone, but since we've utilized Mass Insight for instructional frameworks, for the development of our employee coaching model, as well as our school readiness model, just to name a few of those initiatives. And in addition to working with Mass Insight, we've partnered with Learning Science International by utilizing their expertise in curriculum and instruction to empower our students to be true owners of their learning. Now, we're not only building capacity through partnerships, we are truly building capacity when it comes to building a brand new K-8 or K-6 school that meets the needs of growing enrollment at our Northside Elementary schools. Once again, I'd like to thank Jeff Justice for his work in designing this state-of-the-art facility. It has been a phenomenal experience. And get ready, Reverend, we are paying for this building with cash. Amen. All right. Now, last year I was able to show you some schematics that were principally design and focused. Now, certainly we have those designs complete, and you will see a pretty unique structure in terms of you really will be challenged to find hallways in this school. It's designed with neighborhoods, and then we have collaborative spaces in each of the neighborhoods. And then one of the incredible features is a 2-story learning commons that I think will be phenomenal. This is the floor, the first floor vision and view for the learning commons, and then this is the learning commons from the second floor, and you can see the expansive nature of that with the natural light pouring in. And you know the traditional classrooms that we saw? Well, in this classroom we have furniture that is very adaptable in nature. We can put them in groupings however the teacher needs to group the students, and also the technology that the teacher will use is not mounted on a wall, but it's on a mobile platform to take that learning and that technology to students wherever they happen to be. Now, next, this slide and video depicts a time-lapse aerial view of the construction as of this Saturday. So that was the first view taken February the 11th, and you can see Petersburg Road at the top. You can see as this time lapse continue the movement of dirt as they continue to process all of that. Now you can start to see the shape of the building take place and the entryway in the upper left of the parent drop-off. Now the school is taking a little bit more definitive look, and you will see as it comes in, it is elevated to the height necessary. You can start to see the layout. Now you're going to see green grass, and you can see the outline of the classrooms. But to help you understand how this fits a little bit better, my son Luke, who did this, put the overlay of the building design in the video so you can actually see how all of this will lay on that 26-acre piece of ground. We are incredibly excited for this to come online. It will open in August of 2018 and will be a phenomenal asset to the entire Evansville community. So, what does all this mean? Well, simply it means success. Now, I know we're running a little bit tight on time, so I'm going to breeze through these in a very quick fashion, but I'm blessed to work with outstanding employees. Every month we have a cause for applause, which really lifts up people who have gone above and beyond. We also have many of the celebration awards from the Leadership Evansville, Celebration of Leadership. Additionally, University of Evansville and the Courier and Press sponsor Outstanding Educators in the year, or of the year, and we are, I'm pleased to say, have all 4 of those recipients, and I believe they're in the room tonight. So if you'd stand up, I would appreciate that. Jacqueline Holtz, Tanya Weinsapple, Brad Lamy, and Christine I. Holtz. Thank you for what you do. And I'm sure you could see from our visit into Tracy's classroom that she is well deserving of being honored as one of the nation's finest teachers. Also, we have Sheila Huff, principal at Bosse High School, who received the Sagamore of the Wabash. Brian Dugan, teacher at North Indiana PTA Teacher of the Year. Ryan Merriweather, well, he received 2 awards. One's not good enough, I guess. We also have Jennifer Martin, who teaches at Bosse, who is the IU Armstrong Teacher Educator of the Year Award. John Skinner, Indiana PTA Principal of the Year. You're going to see a theme here in a little bit. And great teachers provide outstanding opportunities for student success and awards. Josh Brown, one of our students, is the first student from Evansville to be elected Youth Governor of the Year. Brittany Skinner, I've said the Skinner name before, is the Indiana PTA Student Making a Difference State Award winner. 2 students have received the Daughters of American Revolution Good Citizens Award. Caitlin Lee, one of the members of the girls' state champion golf team at North, won the Mental Attitude Award. And these are just a few. So what do you do? What do you get when you have great staff and great students? Well, you get great schools. EVSC has 3 of the 32 STEM schools in Indiana. Now that's 10% of the population, or 10% of the schools. So let's do a little bit of math here, although we know that math is not just content. But there are 1 million students in public schools in Indiana. So for us to have 10% of the schools would mean we would have 100,000 students in our district. We don't have quite that many, okay? So I think that says a lot about our teachers. Also, Central High School, DeFore Model Professional Learning Community School in the nation. For the first time, North High School has advanced to the state finals of marching band, and I will assure you it will not be their last time. There are many more trips in their future. New Tech Institute, named exemplary and national designation site by New Tech Network. And then we come to this. Central's super mileage team placed 5th in the Shell Global Super Mileage Challenge. Now take a look who beat them. Little schools like Duke University, okay? Now I would ask you, Professor Shoulders, the Big Ten is represented on the sheet, but you see IU nowhere listed. I'm not certain why. You also don't see the engineering school of Purdue listed. You do see a tiny little school up in Michigan. Let's see, what's that called? Yeah, the University of Michigan, that came in 8th place. By the way, Central came in 5th place. The high school team. By the way, they're the only high school team that you're going to see listed. And Brad, I appreciate you telling me this. Brad Lamy is the coach that put all this together, High School Teacher of the Year. He said that when a team came by, was at University of Colorado, I think? He said, and I'm going to clean this up because we have students in the, at least we didn't get beat by that darn high school team. So, congratulations. Just a small example of what our students can do when we compete on an international stage against university students. And then finally, we have, that's worthy of, Brad, did you start the applause? And then we have the Southern Indiana Career and Technical Center's Culinary Arts program that was named to the Elite 50 in the nation. And as you see coming in, I'd like to introduce you to Chef Ed Ellis and just a few of his culinary arts students who have prepared a fantastic dessert for you today. It's deconstructed carrot cake. Now, these desserts are in take-home containers, and the students will hand these treats out to you in the hallway as you exit today. Thank you, Chef Ed and crew. You know, I've said many times before that we might just be better known outside of Evansville for our innovative work than we are here in our own community. This map represents just some of our partnerships that we are working with throughout the nation. And here is one of the most recent examples. The Everyone Graduates Center in the School of Education at Johns Hopkins University. The mission of this 3-year initiative, Pathways to Adult Success, is to develop and to disseminate the know-how required to enable all students to graduate from high school prepared for college, career, and civic life. Johns Hopkins is partnering with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on this initiative, and they have gathered leaders in the field, including school districts, state departments of ed, institutions of higher learning, and nonprofit entities. So I'm pleased to announce that EVSC is one of 20 school districts from across this nation that has been asked to participate in this exciting national initiative. Now, I recall saying 6 years ago in this very room that it's difficult for me to imagine a vibrant community without a vibrant public school system. And please know that we work every day to earn your trust by providing outstanding opportunities for our kids so that every child we are privileged to teach has the opportunity for a great life. It is truly a blessing to serve as your superintendent. I hope you are as proud as our corporation as I am. We have phenomenal people in this school corporation and in this community, and all of you make a difference. Thank you so much for your support of our schools. Thank you for being here. God bless.